Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, what do we have here? Jared Kushner. He's in the news because he has landed a contract with the government of Serbia to build it's a $500 million contract to build a hotel on the memorialized ruins of a former military base in Belgrade. This hotel would have a 99-year lease to convert the site to a luxury hotel commercial space and over 1,500 residential units. There's a lot of protests about this. Serbians don't want this. The government said that the government of Serbia has chosen a reputable American company as a partner in this venture, which will invest in the revitalization of the former Secretariat for National Defense Complex. Now, the company they're talking about is Kushner's Saudi-backed investment company, Affinity Partners. Affinity Partners is the $2 billion that MBS in Saudi Arabia gave to Kushner to manage. His hedge fund, as I often refer to it. It just seems like, they're worried about Hunter Biden and $5 million from China or something like that. But that same oversight committee in the House will overlook this $2 billion one here. Prior to the approval of the contract, public officials in Serbia heavily opposed the deal for its insensitivity and potential for political manipulation. One Serbian politician described the location as one of the pearls of pre-war architecture, and most Serbs believe this site should not be desecrated in any way. Tens of thousands of people signed petitions saying they didn't want this to happen. So for folks in the United States, and I wasn't familiar with the history on this until I read this story. This last paragraph I'm going to read, this says it all, and you'll be able to relate to it. The Yugoslav military complex, this is, this is back in the late 90s, was bombed by NATO forces in 1999 during a U.S.-backed campaign that killed an estimated 2,000 civilians and lasted until the Yugoslav army retreated from Kosovo during the Kosovo War. The prospect of a U.S. company building anything on that site was described by Politico as if the Taliban wanted to build a luxury apartment compound on the site of the New York Twin Towers. Okay. You may not know, and I did not know much history about the war in Kosovo and the U.S.'s actions in it, so on and so forth, but that paragraph, if the Taliban wanted to build a luxury apartment compound on the site of the New York Twin Towers, if that conveys to you accurately how the folks in Serbia feel about this, I think you get the idea that maybe this is a bad idea. I would agree. But that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It's like, this is in really bad taste, and this is going to cause problems. Imagine, if you will, the Taliban built, a luxury apartment on the site of the Twin Towers, how people in the United States might react to that. This is not going to end well. So, I want to look at the energy around this deal involving Kushner and maybe a little bit on Kushner's future here. Okay? Entertainment purposes only. Come on down. This deal with the Serbian government to basically build luxury suites on their version of the Twin Towers, how's that all going to pan out? Again, entertainment purposes only. We got the Page of Wands. We got the mouthpiece for the Saudis here, coming in, ready to spend money. This is the elite wanting to do deals. Crossed with the Hanged Man. This is a head-scratching deal here. This is, for the government folks that are associated with this, this is a really, really bad idea. And to me, this is all about corruption and bribery and stuff like that. The Serbian people are not going to stand for this, and this is going to cause a lot of unrest in that area. Honestly, to me, though, this is the corporate elites doing the things that corporate elites do. And I can imagine some Serbian officials got paid a lot of money to do this. This isn't going to end well. This is a bad, bad idea. In the past, you got the Nine of Swords. It's a nightmare for the Serbian people. A lot of people don't want this to happen. Did not want this to happen. You know, it's hard enough to know how many people lost their lives there. Again, 2,000 civilians lost their lives. What, about 3,000 lost their lives or so? 3,500 in the Twin Towers? You know, it's comparable in scale. It's comparable. It's a great comparison. It's a great analogy. This should, if anything should be built there, is a memorial to the folks that died there. But we've got the Page of Wands now becoming the Knight of Wands. These negotiations to build something on that site is now taking action in form. Again, there is theft here. This is not a straight deal on the up and up. A lot of money changed hands. And that lot of money changed hands with the government. This, I cannot stress enough that this is a horrible idea. This is government corruption, but this is also corruption with MBS, Saudi Arabia, Jared Kushner. Lesson to be learned. The elites are the elites, and they're still in charge, and they're still making their deals, and what people want doesn't matter to them. You've got the ruling class in the world, the elites that are going to go do their things, and they don't care what the peasants think of their deals. The outcome is the Four of Coins. There may be some delays in getting things started. There may be strikes and protests as people fight to hold on to their values. It's not going to be smooth sailing right away. They may not build right away. There's going to be some unrest with this. And some government people might lose their jobs over this. I would say MBS and Jared Kushner would be wise not to move too quickly here, because the government has to maintain its control of power, and you need to have the government fully on board and committed before you start doing something like this. I could see people sabotaging that area. Strikes, protests, stuff like that. I think there's going to be a lot of unrest on this one. I want to read on Jared Kushner himself, and I did the Spawn yesterday, and heaven forbid we leave Jared Kushner out of the mix here. The only reason why I knew about the story is I went looking for it. Because, like, what's Jared Kushner been up to? We don't hear much from him. And you've got this $500 million business deal that he's working on. So, what's Jared Kushner over here? And again, Gene Mayel has a website that I used to go to that has a bunch of tarot readers and intuitives that contribute to it. That was one of the first places I went to after Trump got elected. And at her site, a lot of people saw Jared Kushner as being like the highest ranking member in the Trump administration who would go to prison. So, even back in a couple years into the administration, they didn't see Trump going to prison. They see Kushner going in there. Now, it really does seem to me that Kushner probably has involvement with Khashoggi's death. Jamal Khashoggi, I think was his first name. And this $2 billion hedge fund is so total corruption that it's ridiculous. James Comer wants to find corruption. Stop focusing on Hunter Biden. Start focusing on Jared Kushner. What's Kushner up to? Five of Swords. He's out there being ruthless, narcissistic and ruthless, cutting his deals. His eyes are dark like a shark's. There's just no life, no compassion in those things. So there's a ruthlessness about him. And again, when he talks about, I think it was John Kelly or somebody saying, yeah, he's a whiny or, whatever. Dude, shut up. My lunch was bigger than you. Crossed by the Temperance in the Queen of Pentacles. I think what this is saying is, for now, he's getting away with it. He's got the money coming in. He's got the good life. He's got things coming in for him. But I think his day is coming. It's just not coming quickly. Focus is on Donald Trump right now. The red alert is Donald Trump and the corrupt politicians with him. But that doesn't mean that Jared Kushner's out of danger. It's just that his danger is slower. In my reading last night, I saw Ivanka throwing her dad under the bus. I'm sure Kushner threw people under the bus too, but I don't think Kushner was as forthcoming because he knows he's culpable for a lot of stuff. And I don't think his day in the sun has come quite yet, but you can see the sun's rising. So his day in the sun's coming. It's just, he's not the first wave, but his day's coming. In the past, we got the Two of Pentacles, the compromising of his morals, of his ethics. Not that he ever had morals and ethics, but it's the, what can he do for money? How do I get money? How do I keep money? How do I make more money? Remember when he first got put into the White House, Trump had him in charge of everything? I think that was just, he trusted Kushner to figure out ways to grift on a big scale. That was Kushner's job, was to keep the money like an infinite money loop. How do you keep the money constantly flowing in? And it doesn't really matter which turbulence you cause in the background. So long as you keep the money flowing, we will be good. Current situation, though, is the Eight of Swords. Kushner's hands are kind of tied. Trump can't protect him as the president because he's not in power. He and Ivanka went running with their tails between their legs in the fall of 2020. I wouldn't doubt for a second they knew what Trump was up to with that coup, and they didn't want to get dragged down with it, and they ran. It wouldn't also surprise me if they turned evidence on Donald Trump to save themselves. But I don't think Kushner is fully out of it. And he's kind of trapped. He's doing what he can to keep himself protected, but there's only so much he can do because the Temperance card is coming. Overarching energy and all these swords is the Two of Swords. He's at a crossroads, or his life path is about to come to a crossroads. He's restricted right now, doing all the business stuff, hoping he can get away with it. But his Waterloo, as Meldor likes to use that term, his Waterloo is coming. And it's about him going out. The lesson to be learned is the Page of Pentacles, messaging about money, the accepting of money. His Waterloo is going to be about the money that it's going to involve money. The MBS money, these deals that he's cutting, so on and so forth. And the things of value. This could also be intelligence stuff. You might have to wait for the Mar-a-Lago case to go through. But there's going to be something about things of money or things of value, deals that he's done, compromises that he's made. Money versus loyalty or something along those lines that he never thought he was going to have to pay the price for. This is coming for him. Outcome is going to be the Eight of Cups. Because as the Queen of Pentacles comes over, he's shot his wad, as it were, using a vulgar term. He's given what he's willing to give the government, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Jared's got some other things he needs to deal with here. Other actions that he's not cut a deal with. These are coming for him now. And they will be coming. I don't think it's soon, as in it's going to happen this year type of thing. He is going to be in those waves of follow-up investigations. So picture, if you will, the next investigation, let's say, again, Trump either gets convicted or is incapable of standing trial, or stealing Susan Lynn's, goes to the great McDonald's in the sky, courtesy of a Grimace Shake. The next wave of people that the FBI is going to go after, I mean, not that they can't have multiple investigations going on, but the next wave of people are going to be the insurrectionists, the lieutenants and the enablers. That's going to be your Josh Hawleys, your Chuck Grassley's, your Jim Jordans, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, all these people that were involved in Ted Cruz, all the ones involved in holding up the counting of the election and trying to do what they could to overturn the elections. The fake electors, all these things. That's going to be that next wave of things. After that, I think, is the Jared Kushners and the Stephen Millers, the Steve Bannons, those folks. People ask about General Mike Flynn. He's going to be in that second wave of coup people. Bannon's probably going to be in there as well. But there will be more investigations about corruption, bribery, conspiracy. That'll be that third wave. I swear, the Trump administration was the most felonious, corrupt administration that you could possibly imagine. I can't even imagine it. And as I say it, I feel like I'm just making it up to be a libtard and get y'all riled up. But y'all know it's true. And I know it's true. Literally, they were committing it seemed like a dozen of felonies a day. And you and I were helpless to stop it. And we were wondering where the hell the police were. Where was the FBI? Where was the Secret Service? Where was the Department of Justice? They were criming in plain sight and giving everybody the finger, read between the lines. And we're just sitting here like, we're supposed to be this nation of laws, a nation of law and order, but apparently it doesn't apply to the folks in charge. This is the stuff we have to face. Speaking of stuff we have to face, let's just look at what is Kushner facing for the rest of the year. What are going to be the challenges? What's the next big challenge he's facing for the remainder of the year this year? Get some type of look. I miss the days watching Lena Rodriguez's videos and speculating if he was stealing Ivanka's sweaters out of the closet. Oh, things used to be so much simpler. Oh dear, come on down. Will Jared be facing anything worse than Ivanka getting mad that he keeps stealing her pink Chanel sweater? What's coming up for him? He's got agreements and contracts coming up. This could be further on this Serbian thing, but there's other contracts, agreements that are coming up. What's the issue? Oh, the issue is that there's some legal issues coming up here. He's got some legal issues that he's going to have to contend with regarding his agreements and contracts. And underneath is the Six of Swords, trying to negotiate his way out of something that he's done that is being investigated. Is he turning state's evidence? Is he turning on Trump? There's something that he's negotiating with involving the law that he's trying to get himself out of trouble. He's in trouble with something here. In the past, it's the Wheel of Fortune. His previous acts or his involvement in previous acts are being investigated. And he could be cooperating or he could be a target of a conspiracy with this. Look at this next card. Didn't you have to flip it to see what it was? The Five of Coins. This could be him and Ivanka leaving the White House, or this could be the money that's come into them. So it's values or something along those lines. So this is either, again, the coup. What does he know about the coup? You got your Jack Smith type moment here. Or this could be about like the billions of dollars that he got from MBS. Or this could even, again, be the Serbians, that hotel with Serbia. There's lots of different ways. We got the strength card here. Bitter pills to swallow. You know, something that this is not something he wants to deal with. He has to deal with it. He doesn't want to. He has to deal with it. Let's see if I can get something. Knight of Swords, something charging forward quickly, recklessly. And there's that Temperance card again. Okay. 3 ways to read this. This could be about that agreement from the Serbian government, and there could be litigation that comes into play. This contract, this is not a good idea. The people are being left out in the cold while Jared Kushner gets a $500 million, a deal to build a $500 million hotel complex there. There could be a lot of fighting trying to get this done. And there could be a lot of swift action coming his way to slow his roll so that he's not able to build it right away. There could be some legal consequences. Now, that's the Serbian read on this. This could also be insurrection stuff. What was his role in the insurrection? The Justice Department wants to know, were you involved in this? We know it happened, and we know the planning happened while you were there. You and your wife fled. What are you going to tell us to help us with this case so we leave you alone? And it's like, you don't have a lot of time. You better tell us quick what happened if you want to keep out of this. But maybe, I know he went under deposition, and there was a suspect that he was parsing his words. So, trying to lie by omission. And I think they know that. And they're waiting for him. But they can't act right now. They can't act quickly. They have to wait. The Department of Justice is waiting for the right time to hit him. If we hit the last thing with his deals with MBS, and it could be related, it's being investigated. What a coincidence that MBS wants to give you a couple $1 billion for you who's never had any history managing money. Now you've got all this money to manage here. Where did you get those skills? How did you manage to negotiate this? This stinks on the front. And investigation is moving quickly on this one. Again, I think he's in trouble. He's not in trouble yet. Because the Temperance card came as the outcome. I think they have investigated Jared Kushner. I think they know something smells rotten in his past and in his dealings. But they're not ready to move yet, as they've got bigger fish to fry as far as our democracy. So, in other words, Jared Kushner's crimes seem to be related to financial crimes and state secret type crimes, like, again, involving himself with Khashoggi, again, entertainment purposes only. Those crimes have already happened, and his corruption crimes aren't going to bring down the United States. It's unlikely he's turning over more people to be assassinated. He doesn't have access to that. So they can kind of put him on simmer on the back burner while they'll deal with things like with his father-in-law, who's a much more clear and present danger to the United States. And then deal with the politicians who are still in power, who are also clear and present dangers to the United States. But once they've got that group addressed, then it's get the knuckles ready, because now we're going to go after these corrupt guys for their corrupt crimes, and they're going to take them down, grab their money and their assets, throw their butts in prison, and hold them accountable for what they did. It's prioritizing your limited resources. That's all. Okay, let's leave it here. Thank you very much for watching this video, supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for everything you do to feed the YouTube algorithm, like comments and thumbs up and stuff like that, so every video makes it out to a wider audience. To folks discovering this channel recently or for the first time, welcome to the channel. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.